Hi guys, welcome to Action Together's Virtual Volunteer Fair for Oldham. Thank you for joining us. This is the first time we've done... Oh, sorry, could we go back? Sorry guys. I was just going to say it's the first time we've done one, so we're hoping to stick to timings and that we can have it done for 8 for everybody. We're going to be joined by 5 different groups. And just to let everyone know from the beginning, this is being recorded, just so you're aware. So if you want to keep your cameras off, you want to keep muted, that's fine. Lovely. Can we have the next slide? Thanks, Alicia. So just a little bit of information to begin with, just a bit of housekeeping. So each group that's going to be talking, they're going to have 10-minute slots each. So the first 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who they are, what they do in the community, and the different volunteer roles that they've got. And then the second 5 minutes is going to be some questions. So just whilst they're talking, you just keep the microphones on mute, just so there's no interference. That would be great. During the questions, so you can ask a question using your microphone if you feel comfortable, or you can pop it in the chat. It's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. So if we don't get around to all the questions, we're going to ask each group to pop their email address in the chat so you can ask after. And this is our email at the bottom here on the right-hand side at the bottom. So if you have anything for us, we can answer the questions on email if we don't get around to it. Just a reminder again, it is being recorded, so take part in your preferred way. Like I said, you don't have to have your camera on. You can ask in the chat, that sort of thing, and just sit back, enjoy it. We hope you like it. We hope you find it useful. Thank you. Thanks, Alicia. Okay, so just to run through the agenda. So we're doing the welcome now, which we've started, and I'll pass on to Alicia in a second. And then at 10 past, we've got transport for sick children. So that's the first slot. And then 10 minutes. Sorry, it muted me. HMR Circle. And then we've got guide dogs at 7:40. And then finally, we've got TOG Mind at 7:50. And it should end by 8. So we can do the thank you and the close then. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. So a big welcome from Oldham's volunteering team. So I'm Alicia, the volunteering officer for Oldham. There's 5 of us within the team. There's Josie, who's the operations manager. There's Aga, who's also a volunteering officer. And then Lauren, who was just talking then, is also a volunteering officer. And we have Sean on the call today, who's also a volunteering officer in the Oldham area. So Action Together, I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about who we are and a little bit about what we do before we get started. So basically, Action Together is a infrastructure organisation for the voluntary, community, faith and social enterprise sector. So for short, we do call it the VCFSE sector in Oldham, Rochdale and Tameside. So basically, we do connect people in the community with what's happening in their areas. We influence. Oh, I've gone back one. Bear me a second. Yeah, so we develop community ideas, strengthen local organisations, and encourage strategic influence for the charity and voluntary sector. So we do help a lot of individuals and groups to connect with each other. Pass you over to Sean.
Hey folks, just before we start as well, because this is the first virtual fair that we've done, we're just quite curious to how you found out about today. So we just made a little poll which you can just answer. It should come up any second now. So yeah, the more of you that can take part, the better. So yeah, hopefully a little pop-ups come up. And it would just reflect, it would just help us work out how we promote this in the future. Um, so yeah, have a go. Right, what's the next slide? Okay, well, we got there 3 minutes early. Now the good thing is, our first speaker is actually here already. Um, so I can give you a couple of minutes just in case some people do just join for the 10 past. Um, so actually what I can talk about, I'll talk about how we're going to do it. When we were planning for this today, we were a bit concerned about whether things or whether certain talks will go over, how we're going to let people know. So we nervously tried to think of the system. Thankfully, Zoom does have a little timer function. So what I'm going to do, when it comes to 10 past, so this is mainly I'm talking to the groups here who are with us. Hello. Um, I'll set like a reminder of just under 10 minutes, and so a little buzzer will go off when you've got like 30 seconds left. Because I'm just conscious I don't want to keep people here too long past 8 o'clock, which is when we finish today. So yeah, hopefully it'll be all right. And yeah, I know we've given you all 10 minutes each. Um, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes of questions. That's just what we imagined might happen. If you want to talk for a bit longer and then have short of time for questions, that's also fine. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. You know what? I'm going to go rogue and I'm going to say, because we finished a bit quickly doing our bit, I'm happy to give you the full 12 minutes or 11 minutes, Rachel. Um, Wait a minute. Is it Rachel first? No, it's not. It's Marianne. You're first. Oh, that was
Hello,
close.
it's me. Can you hear me okay?
I can indeed. Right. So yeah, we've got your slide up. I'm more than happy for you to go for it. I'll leave it over to you. I mean, I'll let you know, yeah, when it's coming to the end, but it should be fine.
Okay,
Thanks,
okay.
Marianne.
I saw your email about the video. Shall I try and put it up, or do you think it's probably not going to work? Didn't know whether to just try and share my screen, or is that not really going to work, do you think?
We're not sure. We did try loads of ways today.
Right, right,
Uh,
okay.
You can give it
Can
a go if you want. It won't
yeah,
take too long if you want to give it a go, and then we
I
can let
just
you
thought,
know
yeah, if
if
we've got
it's
a couple of minutes, it might be just worth it to try because it's a really nice
yeah.
introduction to the charity, and it's actually quite a new video that we only did a few months ago.
Yeah,
Um,
give it a go. And I can
yeah.
let you know though if there are like tech issues.
Yeah, or I can always share it in the chat if not.
Yes, that'd be good.
その北京那人，从帮忙说的时候，一抽烟就会是。
So you able to
Yeah,
share, Marie?
just trying.
Oh,
Sorry,
brilliant.
the
Okay. No, that's fine. I just wasn't sure if I've given you the permission, so that's good to know.
I'm not sure. Oh, hold on. I'm not sure you have given me the permission actually.
Ah, right, let me see.
Rianne, I've just made you co-host. It might help with sharing, hopefully.
I'm not sure it's going to work, unfortunately. Mhm. No, sorry guys, I don't think it is.
That's
So
right.
I'll
You can
crack
put the
on.
link in the chat if you want, and I can try give it a go.
Hold
But
on.
if not, maybe you can, if you want to talk about it in the meantime, and I can see if I can put a link up.
Right, I've put it in the chat. Um,
Right then.
oh, can see it.
Transport for Sick Children, how can we help?
Each year, there are many families in Greater Manchester who struggle to take their children to important medical appointments because, on a personal level, they could be living or dealing with various inequalities that can substantially limit the access they have to reliable modes of transport. So, getting to an appointment can be a real challenge. However, Transport for Sick Children is here to help, as it's our charity's mission to reduce these stressful barriers for families by providing them with an accessible means of transportation so they can get to their appointments on time. Unlike other schemes, we don't operate within geographical boundaries, so if a child needs to go to a hospital, a therapy clinic, or a specialist centre that's in or around Greater Manchester, we can accommodate those journeys for them because we have an experienced team of in-house transport organisers and a dedicated fleet of voluntary drivers who are all here to get these families from A to B in a very safe, friendly and responsive manner. Over the last 5 years, we've organised more than 32,000 trips, driven over 500,000 miles, and have helped almost 4,000 children with their transportation needs, which we want to continue doing long into the charity's future. But to accomplish this goal, we need your help. So if you'd like to get involved as a potential volunteer, a referrer, or a trustee, then please do get in touch with us or check out our website for more info.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Sean.
Did it work?
It it worked for me, so hopefully for everybody else.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Seen it worked.
Yay, fantastic. Sorry, I'll crack on now where the time's getting away from us. So hi everybody, thank you for having me so much tonight. My name's Marianne. I work for Transport for Sick Children. I'm the fundraising and communications coordinator for the charity. And as you can see, we're a children's transport charity. We cover all of Greater Manchester. We have a team of volunteer drivers. We have about 30 drivers at the moment, all spread throughout Greater Manchester. And we're looking for new drivers in the Oldham area. We have a lot of families that go to appointments within the Oldham area, the district, and we really are looking for new drivers in the area. The role is picking the family up, taking them to the appointment, waiting for them at the appointment, usually up to about 2 hours. But we do different types of appointments. We do therapy appointments, longer appointments, say if a child needs to go for an operation or needs dropping off. And then it's bringing the family home as well. We supply the child car seats. We pay mileage monthly. And it's not anything that affects your insurance either. So you do need to let your insurance company know, but it doesn't actually affect your policy at all. The drivers that we have are fantastic. They find it really, really rewarding. The families are all so appreciative. And we also have a very dedicated team in the office as well. We have a team of 3 transport organisers. One of the ladies has been with us nearly 25 years. And we're a very well-established charity and a lovely team in the office as well. So if you have a car, if you enjoy driving, and if you'd like to get involved, then we'd love to hear from you. So there's our website address is there. And also do feel free to give me a call or the charity manager if you'd like any more information about the charity or volunteering at all. And I think that's us.
That's great. Does anyone have any questions? For either from the video or from what Marianne has said?
It's Ian. I don't know how to put my hand up. Am I all right to just ask a question?
Yeah, go for it. It's all right.
Yeah.
I've not used Zoom for about 2 years. So I'm just getting used to all the things again. I'm just wondering what sort of commitment you want from your volunteers, ideally. I know there's going to be some flexibility, but ideally what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a really flexible role. That's one of the great things about it. There isn't kind of a minimum commitment. We generally, if possible, say sort of 1-2 trips a week. But like I say, it's flexible. So some drivers prefer to do long drives. We have other drivers that do very local trips that just sort of do trips to local clinics. We know where it could be an hour appointment. You just literally taking them, waiting for an hour and coming home. So yeah, it really depends on what you want to do.
And are they, I'm guessing they're normally Monday to Friday. There's not many outside of your office, like weekends or evenings, or do you have?
Yeah, not usually evenings. Latest appointments we generally have are sort of 4:30. The majority of the appointments we do are to the Children's Hospital, and like I say, that the latest ones are sort of that time. We do have some at the weekends. So yeah, if that's something you're able to help with, then that'd be great. We do have a couple of drivers that just do weekends, so kind of work it around their normal job. So yeah, that is an option as well.
Smashing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've just seen Catherine's question in the chat. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Some weeks, if you're not busy, then that's great if you can commit. We do have some drivers that go away for long periods of time. Quite a lot of our drivers are retired, so they might go away for 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, as long as we know when you're away, mainly so we don't bother you, that's fine. And there's never any sort of commitment to take a trip either. It's a case of we'll ring you generally about a week ahead. Say, can you do this trip? If you can, brilliant. If not, don't worry, that's fine. And what we'll do, obviously, if you're away, we'll mark you out in our diary, so we're not bothering you.
Great. I think that finishes just as we were about to hit 20 past. No, thanks, Marie. That's brilliant. I was nervous the video wouldn't work, but it did, and we got some good
No,
questions.
thank you. You did better than I did. Thank you.
Oh no, that's all right. Yeah.
Marianne, do you think would you be all right popping like your contact email in the chat for people to get in touch with you if they've got some more questions? Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem. I'll do that now. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, next, let's see how smoothly we can make the transition. We've got Rachel Patrick from Guide Dogs. Are you here, Rachel?
Are we on Pennine Mencap, Sean?
I am, but it's not me.
No.
It's still not me.
Oh my God.
Sean's desperate for Rachel to go.
Oh my God, I've put you down as I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm 740.
Is it Rebecca?
Sean.
Hang on. It is, isn't it? Is Rebecca here? Maybe that's it. It was the two R-based names. I'm going to scour the chat quickly to see if she's here, and if not, I'll just talk a little bit about them. Unless Lauren or Alicia, can you see anything? If not, I will just
I just
see
had a
a
look,
few
Sean. I
things.
can't see. I don't know if you can, Alicia. I can't see Rebecca.
No, I don't think she's arrived, Sean,
Right,
unfortunately.
that's all right.
Good job we prepared for this.
Yeah.
We've got you
So yeah, we had just in case this eventuality happened, we have looked at some of the roles that they have got live with us, so I can just talk to you a little bit about the roles. Probably not as well as you could have, but I'll give it a good go. So at the moment, we have for Pennine Mencap, we have 2 roles, both of which are in Oldham. One is called a volunteer receptionist role, and then another one is a kitchen assistant. these have been live for a while, and I believe they're looking for one or more people for both roles. So for the volunteer receptionist, just from reading the description that she's put um, on our website, seems like a really good way if you want, again, some customer facing skills or just job skills generally. So it said no training is needed for this role. You get safeguarding support um, in terms of getting there. We need to travel by public transport. So it's not a role that you can obviously do from home. What I might try and do as well, actually, when I'm finished this, I'll post the two links for both of these roles into the chat so people can have a little look. So yeah, this is good. This seems like a just solid receptionist role. And then the other one is the kitchen assistant role. We are looking for multiple volunteers to support the running of the kitchen and our activity centre for adults with learning disabilities and autism. This role could be shared between individuals according to ability. Hours will typically be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The volunteer would be required to support with lunch preparations, cleaning, following food safety and hygiene procedures, stock take, and record keeping. This is like with many roles that have been talked about tonight, and lots of roles on the website. So for this role, you get like a level 2 food safety and hygiene certificate. So this role is 18 and over, based in Oldham. And yeah, let me just see if there's anything else I can mention about the receptionist role before I put them in the chat.
Is it worth me reading their little about me section on their website, Sean, for anyone who might not be aware of Mencap?
You know what? That'd be a really good idea. And then in the
Yeah.
meantime, I get the links for people if they want to have a look on the website. So yeah, actually go on. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, so anybody who doesn't know about Pennine Mencap, so their little about us section is we're passionate about changing the UK for everyone with a learning disability. We're here to support people with a learning disability, their families, and their carers. We fight for a kinder, fairer, and more inclusive society for people with a learning disability to live in. People with a learning disability are members of our leadership teams. We make sure their voices, ideas, and experiences of people with a learning disability shape our decisions and strategies. So that's a little bit about who they are. If that.
That's good. I've got one of the roles I could put in the chat, which I'll do now. Does anyone have any questions in the meantime about it? Oh, there is one question. Are there any age requirement for these roles? Actually, I can answer that one. For the kitchen assistant role, it's 18 and over, and for the volunteer receptionist role that we have, that's 18 and over as well. Now, it might be also worth looking at their website. I can't guarantee it, but sometimes there might be more opportunities there as well. But at the moment, it looks like the two roles that they do have, they are both 18 and over. I am afraid. But let me put that in the chat. So there's one.
I've just had a little look on their website as well, guys, and it does say on the Pennine Mencap volunteer page, it does say volunteers must be over 18. So I'm guessing that's across the board for their roles. It does say that on their page.
All right, bear with me as I try to find the other one. Now, the good thing is I saw him join, Mark. So we definitely have someone for 7:30. But until then, let me just see if I can find this final one. Here we go. So you have a look. And if you haven't done so already, you can make profiles on our website just by going to the links I put in the chat, and then you can apply for the roles there. Um, and if you do so, the organization will get noted, and then they can contact you, usually by email, and then they can organize next steps. Um, so that could be either a phone call, um, or maybe just a meet up in person. So if you're interested in either of those two roles, you can just apply on our website and it will have the same effects. Um, and also, yeah, Lauren has just put in the chat as well. You can just also email inquiries at penninemencap.org. Oh yeah, and if you do have any more questions, yeah, they'll know obviously a lot more than we do. But yeah, apply for those roles. If you want more support with them, you can drop us an email after this, and yeah. Mark, I'm tempted. It's 7:28. Tempted to be really generous and just give you 2 extra minutes for your presentation. Um, so if you're ready, Mark, I know I've just put you on the spot there. I'm quite happy
Yeah,
to
no, that's fine.
hand over to you. Is that all right?
Yeah,
And then
that's fine.
I'll
Thank you.
let you know then when we get to 22. But yeah, I'll hand it over. Cheers, Mark.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name's Mark, and I work for HMR Circle, which stands for Haywood, Middleton, and Rochdale Circle. And we are currently expanding into the Oldham areas. We have a few strands to our service. We're a non-for-profit organisation. We have a volunteer driver service. We have a befriending service. We have what we call a dinner driver service, which is like a Meals on Wheels service. We have our own luncheon clubs. We have a digital learning, and we organise social events and activities, all for over 50s. The reason why we've linked in with Action Together is because we're also looking for volunteer drivers. So we're expanding into the Oldham area ourselves. Our drivers, they get expenses at 45p per mile. That's paid by the passenger, so they don't have to wait to be paid or anything like that. There is a membership of either 20 or £30 to be a member of Circle to join in our social activities and exclusive events as well. Our drivers, they do 9 till 5. We do have some that do weekends. We will take people to hospital appointments, medical appointments, social events and activities, visiting family. We take people to the hairdressers. We take people's and the cats to the vets. So it can be a whole range of volunteering, journeys that our drivers do. We even go as far as London. And there's been a couple in the last couple of weeks, funnily enough, who've wanted journeys to London, and we've accommodated that for them. So 45p per mile, that's their expenses. So it's a lot cheaper than a taxi. Also, we will do for the vulnerable as well. So we do over 50s and vulnerable people as well. Our drivers, they're not carers. They are drivers. They will wait up to an hour for a short hospital appointment. Obviously, it's going to be 6 hours. Then it'll be a return. We'll come back later on for them. Any questions? No.
I suppose, Mark, is it similar question to the ones before? I mean, how much commitment do you need from the volunteers? Can like asked before, can they do 1 week and then 1 week not?
It's as much as or as little as they want. We could have a driver who just can volunteer between, say, 11 and 2, on certain days. That's totally fine. They can do as much or as little as they want. We had one driver recently who actually did 10,000 miles within the last year.
Wow. Wow. And it's not just hospital appointments, so I guess do the timings differ a little bit? Do you find sometimes the drivers are needed a bit later at night sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. We do have activities and events that run in the evening, so yeah, we accommodate that.
Real.
Again, same with the car insurance. It's just a matter of letting your insurance company know that is all. It does not affect anything. You don't have to have business insurance.
Mhm.
We also pay for the DBS checks as well.
Fantastic. I think Alicia's popped something in there for you, Mark. Do you get a uniform or an ID badge when volunteering?
Yeah, we do an ID badge, and we give an IV's jacket as well, just so that they recognise that it's got our logo on it.
Amazing. Has anyone else got any other questions?
Let's say, Mark, maybe you already mentioned this, but just in case you didn't, so obviously today's obviously a focus on Oldham.
Yeah.
So obviously I told him, like, if anyone is here from beyond the borders of Oldham, could they volunteer maybe in like neighbouring areas, or
Yeah,
would they have to
yeah,
drive
we,
to
we
Oldham?
are we are expanding into Greater Manchester.
Hmm.
We're just doing that, like, boats at a time, really, and wherever the volunteer drivers are coming from, obviously we need that pool of drivers first, really, before we can start doing things.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So it's more, yeah, at the moment it's just a big need, isn't it, for volunteer drivers,
Yeah,
across the board. Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. Do you have any other questions?
Mark, I did see on your website it says help in the office. There could be some volunteer roles helping in the office, some admin tasks, or maybe becoming a social host. Has that branched out to Oldham yet, or is it just drivers that you
Uh,
need at the minute in Oldham?
at the moment, it's just the drivers, and then as we expand, then yeah. I mean, we can always have people at our head office anyway, which it's only a few miles up the road, up at Lock 50 on Rochdale Road there. So, if there's volunteers who want to help out in the office, that's great. The hosting volunteers, yeah, again, that could be a walk, that could be an event that we've put on somewhere. So, yeah, as we start to build, we'll need more people as well. We do get members who do that.
Okay, someone's popped in the chat for you, Mark. What's the age requirement for the office?
Because they'd be working under supervision, we have had school leavers in the office.
Fantastic. Okay. So have you got an email address, Mark, you can pop in there? So if
Yeah,
anyone's interested in sort of the driver roles or maybe the office admin, they can get in touch.
yeah, I've put it in the chat already.
Oh, have you?
Mark, is the office accessible for if someone had a wheelchair and you have disabled toilets available?
Yes, and yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, we've got a lift in the building as well,
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
That's really good to know.
and we've got an accessible toilet on our floor as well.
Well, you've also saved me an email, Mark, because I was going to email you and all the other organisations, so I'll make a note. It's good to know. Oh yeah, there you go. Sorry, he's re-put the email in the chat for people who need it. Oh, what else can we ask you?
We do want to expand our like Meals on Wheels service as well. So if there's elderly people that are, we do what's called a dinner driver service. So within Rochdale, we do that on a Tuesday. All the meals are prepared up at the Strand in Kirkcaldy, and then our dinner drivers will go out. So that can be anywhere from 30 to 80 meals on a Tuesday that are going out to people.
Okay.
So that's a service we want to start up in Oldham as well.
Hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Anything else?
Anyone else got any questions before I see, we were so worried that everything was going to go over. We were terrified. We're like, oh. But I'm tempted to. I mean, we've only got a few minutes. I could hand it over to Rachel if she's feeling prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that's fine. If
What do you
no
think,
more
Laura?
questions for Mark.
That's Laura and Alicia. Do you think
I
I'm
think
being a
we've
bit too
grilled Mark
quick?
enough.
All right then. In that case, yeah, if you're ready, Rachel, by all
Yeah,
means. Yeah.
fabulous. Okay. Hi everybody. So I'm Rachel. I'm the local volunteer and attraction coordinator at Guide Dogs. So I cover the northwest, cover quite a large area. But yeah, thank you for having me here today. So a bit about what we do at Guide Dogs. It is a national charity. We are a sight loss charity. So we help people with sight loss to live the life that they choose. We have different services in the organisation that you might not, well, not everyone is always aware of. I know I certainly wasn't when I joined the organisation only last year. So I'll touch on some of those, but we have got a good website if anyone's interested to have a read through. So we've got our rehabilitation service for adults, and we have a children and young people service as well. So that's around supporting with things like cane skills, life skills. It can be advice and information. It might be around technology, support around technology, lots of different things to support those people. We also have our campaigns department, so we campaign for people with sight loss to be able to access everything that a sighted person would be able to access. So things like shops, taxis, so they can be reported to us if anyone is denied access. Then we've got our guide dog service, which I would say is probably our most well-known service. So our guide dogs support our clients to be able to go out and about in their communities, travel the world on occasions, and they allow them to do that safely and independently. So they go through training, and if they don't make the grade for any reason or they're withdrawn for training, we also have buddy dogs. So they could be assessed to be a buddy dog, and families with a child with sight loss could then potentially have a buddy dog to support them. So that sort of leads really onto our volunteering roles. Our main roles, I would say, in the Oldham area are puppy raiser. So the clue is in the name, I think, but you are basically raising a puppy, so you would have a puppy from 7 to 8 weeks until they then go into training, which is usually around 12 to 14 months old. So you'd have that puppy for that time. The puppy would live with you in your loving home. You would train the pup, socialize the pup, do everything with the puppy to get them used to life. The more you can do, the better for our dogs, of course. You will be supported, so there's puppy classes you can attend. We've got puppy development advisors, so you would be allocated your own advisor, and they would be able to support you. You would receive equipment, so a lead, things like that. And the vet and food bills are all paid for. There is also a puppy allowance that our volunteers can claim. So that's the puppy raiser in a nutshell. And we have other volunteer roles in our fundraising team. So we couldn't do any of what we do without our amazing volunteers and of course our fundraisers. So we have a community group within Oldham. They meet every month. They come together to talk about the events that they can put on, collections. I recently attended an event with them at the Molino Lounge in Oldham. So they can get involved with lots of different things. Our roles are for those who are over 18. And in terms of the fundraising role, it tends to be more weekends potentially, sometimes in the week. It just depends on what the event is. But yeah, they're there to raise funds, raise awareness about guide dogs. And sometimes they actually go big and brave. I know that they've done some skydives this last year. I don't expect everyone to go big and brave, but that's just to get a sense of the kind of activities that you could get involved in. And we do have some puppy raisers as well who are part of the team. So they tend to bring their pups as well. So you get to meet them. So yeah, you'd be developing your skills, your confidence, building friendships. You'd learn more about visual impairment and the impact that has on people, but also the sort of inspiring stories. I'm really moved by the stories that I hear from our guide dog owners. They are amazing, and what our guide dogs do is also amazing. So yeah, you would learn about, depending on the role, you could learn about how we train our dogs and be a part of that. Expenses are paid, so sort of travel expenses. And you get a guide dogs t-shirt. I don't know if you can see mine, but you get a nice blue polo shirt with our guide dogs logo on as well. So yeah, I think that's everything in a nutshell. And I think I've spoken far too fast, but hopefully it's all made sense. Yeah, any questions, just give me a shout. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. That was amazing. I mean, if I had the time, I would love to have one of the puppies. Absolutely love. I mean, I've got a question.
Go for it.
I was just, as you were talking, I was just wondering, can people be a puppy raiser if they've already got dogs and other pets in the house?
Yeah, absolutely. In some ways, we encourage that because, of course, guide dog owners can have pets, cats of their own. So the more our puppies and our dogs are, sort of experience, the better, really.
Okay, brilliant. See, I think someone's popped. Has anyone put something in? No? Has anyone else got any questions?
I'll share my email address if anyone does have any questions or wants to give me a ring and have a chat. I'm more than happy to do that.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go on, Alicia.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is there certain criteria, like if you live in a flat compared to a house? Do you have rules around that?
Yeah, so in terms of the puppy raiser, we do ask that you have a secure garden. It would all be taken into account with your if someone does apply, you are asked questions with your application. You would be invited to an informal interview, and it would play part of that kind of conversation, really, as to whether your property and your garden is suitable. We ask for photographs and things of that, so that would all play a part of the conversation, really. Yeah.
Would you want to see a pet policy if someone's renting, from the landlord or the?
I don't think we specifically ask for. We do ask that you've got the consent from your landlord, and I think we would just take your word that that's it, really. But yeah, that is one of the questions. That's a good one.
That's good to know.
So
Thank you.
I think someone's direct messaged me. So we asked kind of two questions. The first one is, any special skill set required for the role? And then the second one, they said, how long would it take to be an approved, to be a puppy raiser? Like, what's the application length, I suppose, to go from showing an interest
Okay,
into
yeah, fabulous, good
yeah.
questions. So in terms of how long it will take, it's hard to say. I think as once we've got we have our application form online, so that is submitted through our website. But that's then picked up by our volunteering office, and you'll be then asked follow-up questions. So the sooner we get those sort of questions back, and you're also asked for referees as well at the point of application. So if that information is there, sooner, then the better. Having an interview, nothing to worry about. It's just a chance to get to know, like I've said, more about you and where you live and things. And then there's a training. So I wouldn't like to put a time frame on it, if I'm honest. But the quicker you are with your responses, hopefully the quicker the process will be. And the first question, Sean, was, sorry.
That's all right. No, it's fine. I do that all the time. You said, is there any special skill set required?
Of course, yeah. No, I mean we've got some puppy raisers who've had dogs before. We've got some puppy raisers who've never had a dog before. Like I said, the puppy development advisor is there to support you in your needs. So no, as long, I would say patience potentially, but nothing specific, I would say.
Also, I may have a quick question. Maybe you already answered it actually. When you talked about expenses, before, so how far does that go then if you're raising the puppy, like in terms of like food and stuff like that? Is it up to the volunteer?
So all food is paid for by guide dogs. All the vet bills paid for by guide dogs. There is a puppy allowance, which is a certain amount a month that you can claim, and then there's certain equipment. So a lead and a collar and things like that are provided to the volunteers as well.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, brilliant. This is another question. I have to say thank you, Rachel. That was great. If anyone does have any further questions for Rachel, just stick them in the chat, or just email her directly. I'm sure she'd be happy to answer. So now what we're on 110.2, so that means there's one person left, and that would be Gemma, if you're here.
Hello.
There we go. You just popped up. That's perfect. Right.
Firstly, how amazing does that opportunity sound with guide dogs? I'm incredibly jealous.
I know, right? It's so popular, those roles, as well, and if any role with animals. So yeah, agreed. Yeah, Gemma, is that right? You ready to? Yeah, cool. By all means.
So thank you for having me and for everyone still being here, seeing as I'm the last slot. So I'm Gemma, I'm the volunteer manager at Tameside, Oldham and Glossop Mind. We sometimes call it TOG Mind, so if I refer to that, then that's what I'm talking about. We are separate from National Mind. So when people think of Mind, they think of National Mind, but actually they're our umbrella organisation. So we're one of around 125 local Mind associations, and we've got our own unique charity number. We're responsible for our own fundraising, and we've got our own trustees. So TOG Mind's been delivering mental health services in the local community for over 40 years. And our vision is for everyone in our communities to achieve better mental health. So what do? We've got numerous projects across Oldham and Tameside. Most of our volunteer positions happen in our community development team, which is in Tameside, but we are developing positions across all the areas that we do work in. I've been with TOG Mind for 5 years, but I came into this post as volunteer manager about 6 weeks ago. So I'm really trying to develop and standardise the volunteer offer across both sites. So some of the current roles we've got children and young persons team across both Ashton and Oldham. In Oldham, it's Take 5, and in Ashton, it's Community Hive. And they work with children aged 8 to 18. And they have what we call a drop-in, where people can turn up, and we don't really know what they're going to present within them drop-ins. So they are seen, and the volunteers can have a position in that drop-in to do the initial assessments, to work out where that client is best placed to go. So whether that's into counselling, coaching, or whether it's a group work. Within that, we also have some of the groups. So we've got resilience groups, we've got creative groups, and we're looking for a volunteer at them to take a lead, particularly on the creative group, to come up with them activities each week. Across Ashton and Oldham as well, we've also got a project called Music in Mind. We're working in partnership with Manchester Camerato for that, and that's to provide music therapy for adults with dementia and their carers. So that's a project we've been funded to do for 2 years. And in Ashton, that's on Wednesdays, and in Oldham, that's on Thursdays. And full training would be provided, and you don't have to have any experience of being musical or be able to play any instruments or anything like that. For kind of one-to-one support that volunteers can offer, we've got Tameside Peer Support. So that's a service where we offer 12 weeks of one-to-one coaching and goal setting to improve someone's well-being. So that's the one that we would be looking for more of a commitment on for people. We don't need any qualifications for any of these. Full trainings provided. Your own lived experience of mental health is actually really beneficial in this. And then we have our Tameside Wellbeing Hub too. So in our Ashton office, we've got a hub where we have a monthly timetable of group activities. And that's the one I always say we've got something for everyone on. The purpose of the groups are to reduce loneliness and isolation. And we've got creative groups like arts and crafts, creative writing. We've got peer groups. We've got an over 50s group. We've got an autism group for adults. We've got peers, which is the only one of these groups that is specifically focused on mental health. So that's people ensuring everyone receives support. We've got a menopause cafe at that. We've got active groups. So we've got walk and talks out in the community. We've got an allotment. We've got practical groups. So sorry, loads of information here, I know. We've got get to know your gadget. So that's for reducing digital isolation, telling people how to, set up an email address, do their online shopping, use a banking app, things like that. We've also got community connections, which is one of our practical groups where we've got a food pantry. And then we've got a new role in Oldham. And that's listening space. So that's coming out this month. So listening space is already there. It's an established service, but we're developing a volunteer role. So the listening space is somewhere people in crisis can go to access an alternative to A&E. And the current paid peer support workers would still do the one-to-one sessions, but what we're looking for is volunteers who would support in the group area of that, to make the drinks, to support the clients to fill in details, and just sit with them while they're in a safe space. If you did want to shadow on the one-to-one sessions, you could do that as well. We're also looking at developing more roles. So in that fundraising area, doing events, supporting with training. And as a charity, we do also recruit trustees for the organisation. So we've got a really, our website's got all this information on, and yeah, it's got so much, and you can apply via the website too. So the benefits to volunteering for us is you get a paid for DBS. There's full training. So as we say, we don't expect anyone to come in with any qualifications. But then there's also additional training opportunities. So you've not just got your kind of mandatory training, you've got opportunities to develop. We do get a lot of people that come into volunteer roles and do go on to get paid employment with us. You've got really good support from us. So I'm the volunteer manager, but you also get a named line manager within your project. We offer group supervisions, expenses are paid. So if you travel to the office, then we pay 45p mile, or we pay public transport. If you do more than 4 hours with us a day, you get a certain amount towards food and drink. We hold volunteer networking and celebration events. Yeah, we've got loads. And I think I probably spoke quite fast then. Has anyone got any questions?
I think someone popped something in the chat.
Oh.
Let's have a look. Just the age restrictions on the roles, Gemma, really. Are there some roles available for 16 plus, or are they 18 plus?
So most of our roles are 18 plus. The ones where you're not one-to-one with a client, we can potentially look at younger, but most of the roles are 18 plus. It depends on the project manager's capacity to support someone who's under 18 as well.
No problem, thank you. I think as well, for the individual who asked that question, I think Mark from HMR Circle said his admin roles as well. I think they said they took some under 18s, if I'm right, Sean and Alicia. That role as well was potentially under 18. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Brill. Thanks, Mark. Has anybody else got any questions for Gemma?
I'm just putting in the chat, because just in case other people here have been referenced from like sixth forms or colleges, who are under 18. I've just dropped the link just for all the volunteering roles in Oldham. And because on each of our adverts on our website, it will say if it's 18 or over or 16 or over. So do have a little look through that as well. So just in general.
I think that might be everything. Gemma, you did give lots of information that was very, very informative. So maybe you answered everybody's questions. Sounds very varied and lots to offer. It sounds really good.
Yeah, I would say we can find something for everyone. I've put my
Yeah.
email in the chat anyway.
Thank you. Amazing. Okay. Right, we're wrapping it up.
So timing-wise, that was all right.
Yeah, really good. Thank you to all the groups. It's been really useful. Sean, did you mention you've popped that link in the chat? It's just not come through for me.
Hang on, you're right. For some reason, I sent that as a direct message to someone.
Oh,
So why? Right, that would explain a lot. Right, hang on.
Thanks, Sean.
There you go. Hopefully, you'll all see that one.
Thank you. Right, so thank you to all the groups. Thank you for everyone attending. So if you have listened in and you've thought, I want to do something, if you've heard anything you want to do, you can connect with the Action Together team. So we can connect you with the group that's been here today, or we can have a look at other roles that are available across the Oldham area. Or alternately, you can have a look on the website where Sean's just popped that link in the chat just there. But we do offer one-to-ones if you do struggle to find something that might be, if you're looking for something in particular, something to suit your hobbies, your interests, your skills, or something you might want to try something new. You can drop into our hubs. So we have local hubs in the area. We have them based in local libraries. So we have Oldham Library, Failsworth Library, and we have Royton Leisure Centre hubs set up. We also have our colleague Aga, who's based in the job centre. If anyone does attend the job centre anytime, Aga's there Tuesdays and Thursdays. So there is the team are across Oldham available to support you to drop in just to have a chat. So there's no commitment to make an appointment. Or you can contact us. You can email you can give us a call, or we can share our team's mobile numbers. And if you prefer to maybe give us a text message, we can communicate in your preferred way. So yeah, I think we're going to launch a little bit of a poll, aren't we, Sean? Have you
We
got
are.
Can I just jump in really quick and we answer
Yeah.
this? Is it Ian's question? What days are you at Oldham Library? So it's once a month, isn't it, Alicia? Is it the
Once a month. It's normally the first Tuesday, so tomorrow I'll be there 10 while 1 o'clock tomorrow. But yeah, you can drop in anytime.
Thank you, Alicia?
No worries. Yeah. Yeah, we're
Oh, yeah,
just going to
poll.
launch a quick poll just to ask you if you found the volunteer fair useful. Sorry, Sean, I'll hand over to you for the poll. Thanks.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. So yeah, if I just hold you on for a brief moment. There you go. You should have another little pop-up. Yeah, be very kind if you can. It's all anonymous too, so if you don't like it, we won't know who it is. Thanks. Yeah. Obviously we're not sure if if we're going to do these again, or if we do, which you probably will. How often they'll be. So we'll probably get a different group of organizations next time. There's definitely a need for roles that are under 18. We're happy to maybe have someone with some of those roles as well. So yeah, thanks everyone. So Alicia or Lauren, do you have anything else extra to say?
Yeah, just thanks for attending. If you do have any questions, the team
Drop us an email, yeah.
We'll be here for the next few minutes. If you want to stay behind, have a quick chat, you're more than welcome. But thank you.
And thanks again for the organisations for being here. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.